you love movies and movie discussions, you've come to the right place. Who am I, you ask? I am the Wiz! And I'm here to review the 2023 sci-fi comedy Asteroid City, starring a bunch of actors, including Jason Schwartzman, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, Adrian Brody, Rupert Friend, Willem Dafoe, and Edward Norton, among others, directed by Wes Anderson. So I'm going to be doing this review a little bit differently. I'm not going to have my regimented 3 points. I'm starting to realize that with some movies, the 3 points are fine. Some need less, some need more. So I'm just going to do a straight review from now on. But if you are watching this on YouTube, I'm still going to have points of the review where I will point out certain aspects of my opinions on the film. So that's not going to change. Let's get into the review of Asteroid City, directed by Wes Anderson. Before that, let's get into the plot. I guess it's kind of thin, but this film is about a multitude of different characters who are in a town called Asteroid City for a junior stargazer space cadet convention. And this is set in around 1955. And basically, everyone is dealing with their own issues until something happens that upends their entire lives. That is as far as I'll go with the plot. So, I think the one thing I should start with when it comes to Asteroid City is the director, Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson is a love-hate director for a lot of people. Either you are enchanted by his style and the way that he shoots his films, or you find it utterly pretentious, annoying, and utterly unwatchable. I've actually always liked Wes Anderson. I really liked his first 5 or 6 films, with maybe the exception of The Life Aquatic, although I will give that one another shot. I definitely found that his style and the way that he does his films, it really resonates with me in a very different way. And I definitely enjoy the types of characters and the deadpan humor that he has throughout his filmography. I watched the Darjeeling Limited around last year and was surprised how much I liked that, even though I've heard that was one that a lot of people did not like. I thought that was particularly moving, and I think the way that he shoots his movies with this postmodern style throughout most of his filmography, he uses it very well. Again, I'm going to say I'm a fan of Wes Anderson. I look forward to watching his films. This movie, however, I had a lot of issues with. Performances are a lot like the performances in his last few films, The French Dispatch, Isle of Dogs. Very direct, very of a way that is lacking in an emotional depth. That's kind of the style he's going for, essentially. But what it feels like, and this is going to be key for this movie, it feels like a bunch of good actors playing it off like they are local theater. I could see how it could work, but in this movie, it just bored me throughout the entire film. I kind of felt that it was annoying at times. In all honesty, the performances are what they are. Do I fault the actors for making it boring? No, this is just Wes Anderson. This is what Wes Anderson does in this film. And I can't really fault the actors on this. But because of the way that Wes Anderson actually did this film, I think it really hurts the themes of the film. The themes are basically losing control of your life and feeling okay with that. And the feeling of isolationism, a feeling of being lonely. These are the kind of themes that he is dealing with. And you know what? With some people, this worked for them. It just did not work for me. You want to sympathize with these characters and you want to like them. It just really did not work with me at all in this. And I think it has a lot to do with the style of which Wes Anderson is shooting the film. Now, I think the other problem in this film is the multitude of characters in this movie. This film goes all over the place with all these different characters, and that's common with a lot of films with big casts of characters. Look at Magnolia. But there's not enough time put into them. This is a 100-minute movie, so it's at an hour and 40 minutes. And I don't think that's enough time to get to know a lot of these characters. So if you have a style that kind of drains the emotion out, and then it's spread out a bunch, maybe 10 or 15 different characters, you just get to a point where you don't get to know any of the characters, and then you have a style that drains all the emotion out of the picture. And I'm just left here watching the film, looking at the prettiness of the set and how it looks, and it kind of bores me. It really just takes everything out of it for me to even invest in any of the characters. And then there's another problem as well. So you're not getting to know any of the characters. You have a style of a film that kind of drains the emotion out, and then you have a meta-narrative throughout the entire film. See, what I've just mentioned to you is actually a play, and you're watching another narrative form where it's the creation of this play. And I have to really question why he needed to do this. Because the meta-narrative, which is the creation of Asteroid City, the play, and then him finding the actors to play these roles, so essentially what you're seeing are actors playing the role of this play. I sat here wondering, what was the point of this? And I think the theme that they were going for was the importance of art to enrich our lives, but it really is a very threadbare plot that just, I don't think really works. Let me say it again. Anderson and his style and his way that he makes his film can be very charming. Look at Rushmore, Royal Tenenbaums, Darjeeling Limited. Hey, I even like The French Dispatch. Not a lot, but I thought it was pretty good. But in this film, I think his style and the way that he does his film really took away from the film. And it took away from the themes that he was working on in this movie. It led me to ask a question throughout the entire film. Should he return to doing smaller films like Bottle Rocket, Rushmore, Royal Tenenbaums? Maybe not have a small cast of characters, but make it more personal. I'm looking back in his last 3 films, Isle of Dogs, French Dispatch, and then this one. And Wes Anderson basically gets a lot of different people, a lot of great actors, I should say, to be in these movies. Are they as good as his last films, like, say, The Grand Budapest Hotel? No, they're not. I think his quality is dipping, and I think it's around that time now where he should just then take a step back, return to where he was, which was the Rushmores, the Royal Tenenbaums, and the stuff like that, and continue making a movie like that. I hate to say that because I like to have directors who have that chance to go ahead and make extravagant films and really push themselves to do different types of works. But to me, and I might be in the minority, this actually reviewed pretty well and this has some fans. But to me, I think he should go back to that. I think that's where he's best. And I think that's where his style is where it works the most. When you really concentrate on 1 or 2 characters, yeah, there's some side characters and there's some supporting characters as well. And you get to know those characters while the deadpan humor is there. I still like Wes Anderson. I still like his films. I like his style, but it's starting to get to a point where I think his style only works in certain instances. I did not like Isle of Dogs at all. I didn't like this movie. As much as I am a fan of his, I do think at times it's a style that is a little bit limited. I'm not saying it's greatly limited, but it is to a point where I really feel there are certain stories that he excels in, and maybe he should stay on that track. Again, it's not something I like to say because I like directors who like to push themselves and try different things, and I'm glad he's doing it. And you know what? Fair enough. People are a fan of this movie. But to me, I'm looking now where if I see another Wes Anderson film with a large cast and a large group of characters, and I'm going to go, yeah, I might not watch that. I think that might not be for me at the end. I am not recommending Asteroid City. Pretty much of a disappointment for me. And I look forward to another Wes Anderson film, of course, but hopefully it doesn't have a large cast of characters. Overall, I do not recommend Asteroid City. Now, if you want my full review on this movie, you can go to my website at IamTheWiz.com. You'll have my full written review right on the site, along with a link to the video that has this review that you've just listened to. All right, so for Tuesday, I'll be reviewing Captain Fantastic, directed by Matt Ross. Thursday's the 7 Debriefings. We're going to be reviewing Skyfall. And Saturday, I'm going to be reviewing a movie that I've actually wanted to watch for a long time. This is another divisive movie, but I have heard great things about this movie, and then I've heard others just absolutely dogpile in this movie. Those who dogpile it do see the good things in it. It was just really not for them. So this is another divisive film. So I'm going to watch Terrence Malick's The Tree of Life. Next week is going to be about films involving fathers. And so I decided to use that theme as an excuse to finally watch this film. Tune in next week. We're on Tuesday. I'll be reviewing Captain Fantastic, directed by Matt Ross. Thursday, the 7 Debriefings with Zero. We're going to be doing Skyfall. And Saturday, The Tree of Life, directed by Terrence Malick. I am The Wiz, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.